So Cenk Uygur released a new ad for his campaign today, and TYT did a segment on it, and I figure we're gonna take a look because we gotta keep abreast of the Cenk 2024 campaign. Okay, we've got to keep a finger on the pulse.
Joining us now is Cenk Uygur, who is still running in the Democratic primary for president. And Cenk, how you doing?
Okay, pretty good.
Oh
I hear you guys have an anniversary today.
Do we?
TYT, yes.
Yes, today is the 22nd anniversary of the Young Turks.
Yeah, I'm kidding around. Happy anniversary to the TYT audience. Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, things are great. We got a new ad.
You have one ad.
We have one ad.
Your one and only ad.
Well, let's see. Maybe we'll have a second one, depending on how this one goes. Maybe.
All right,
okay.
So do you want to preface it with anything?
Yeah, so this is our exclusively. You guys are getting it here first. So ABC asked, I said, no way. I'm doing it on the Young Turks. So seriously, guys, it's about, well, you know what? I don't want to give it away. I really do want to.
Wait, I do want to know. Cenk2024.com. Wait, is that not the right website? I'm sure he'll plug it in a second here.
So curious about your genuine reaction. Then I will have a reaction for like what we can do with it afterwards. But you want to run it?
Sure, let's do it.
All right.
We get all the sandwich stuff for the
kids. Sorry. Cenk for America. All right. I want to know if he's actually improved his website. Let's just take a quick look. Every vote for me is a vote for peace. Help get delegates to end the bombing of Gaza and the occupation. Okay, that's good. That's good. And this is still the same. This is still bad. Policy. Which again, these are not articulated policies, nor do they have plans on how to achieve them. Oh, your policy number 10 is to end gerrymandering. Oh, that'll be easy. What's the policy? How are you going to do that? I want more. The entire time we've looked at this website a few times. I want to know how he wants to do this. When we're talking about policy, how do you want to end gerrymandering? You know? So, meet Cenk. Oh, I thought there would be a step-by-step instruction on how to meet Cenk in person. All right. Anyway, let's watch this.
Kids' lunch? They don't like turkey anymore.
Yeah, I know.
What about the bananas?
Yeah, I got them too. But, honey.
What?
You're gonna have to put those eggs back.
They don't like eggs anymore?
No, they like eggs, but we have to set that $7 aside. For killing Palestinians?
What? I mean, don't we give Israel $4 billion a year anyways?
Yeah, and now we're giving them another $14 billion. Do you know how much that is per American taxpayer?
No.
It's like $85 per person. Apparently it's costing us a lot of money to drop bombs on Gaza.
Why does this feel like a sketch from a Lena Dunham show? Like, I've never seen a Lena Dunham show, but this feels like that. This feels like a really bad comedy scene. Just real quick. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting real Cenk 2020 vibes. It's gonna happen, guys. It's gonna happen. We're watching this ad, and all I can feel is a change is coming. a divine wind will sweep through America. That's the impression I get from this ad.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Don't they get universal health care too?
Yeah, they do. We're paying for that too, probably. Might as well put the bananas back.
Why the do we have to pay for all of this?
Why did they write a fuck word into their ad? Why would you do that? You have the ability to write anything for your own advertising campaign. Why would you add a fuck word that you need to bleep out? Can he even run? His argument is that he's going to run, and then if he gets legally challenged, he's going to take it to the Supreme Court and win the ability to run for president for all naturalized citizens.
Don't cuss at me.
I'm Cenk Uygur, and I approve this message. Let's save lives together at cenkforamerica.com.
That was so bad. What was that the message? The message was everything sucks, and your tax dollars go towards horrible things, and vote for Cenk.
All right, Uygur, so what are you trying to do with this ad?
So
Definitely the response by someone who is not impressed by that ad.
look, the most important thing is if I win.
I do have to say, I'm fascinated by the fact that the initial airing of this ad comes with Cenk trying to give context to why he made it, especially considering what that was. yeah. What the fuck are you doing, Cenk?
Any delegates, and I'm in the keeping it real business. Okay, so you have to get to 15% to win in any state to win delegates. But if I get delegates, I'm going to use that for two reasons. But the number one reason is peace. So, and as we're going to talk about in a little bit, because of a story that broke this week, it turns out those delegates might be super relevant, right? And they might have a lot of power behind them. So if you want these delegates, I could say to potential different Democratic nominees, you're gonna have to agree to stop the bombing in Gaza. And by the way, we want to end the occupation entirely. And so what I wanna do here is draw attention to that. And obviously we're drawing attention to it by pointing out our taxpayer money, we have to put aside, those are real numbers. $7 per month for just the 4 billion, let alone the 14 billion, et cetera. And you have to put it aside from your taxes to kill Palestinians. And so, look, I don't know how the ad's gonna be received. It's possible that people look at that and go, whoa, that is over the top, that's crazy.
I mean, Dublin, I imagine that like the bleeped version is the version that they would play on television. Or I guess the muted fuck would be on television. But like that's still such a weird choice when you could simply not write it that way.
You can't do that in a political ad. It's possible to look at it and go, hey, yeah, Cenk, I get it. He thinks that we're helping to fund killing Palestinians with our taxpayer money. I'm not surprised by it. Some might think it's not harsh enough. I don't know. I'm super curious. And so what I want to draw attention to that, win votes enough to get delegates and then use those delegates for actually getting you peace.
So it's interesting that you are questioning how it'll be received. I mean, look, I don't know how it's going to be received for sure, but what I thought was interesting was that just yesterday, Matt Walsh of all people had a viral post on X where he said that he considers sending money to Ukraine and Israel, taxation without representation, because of the fact that we have no say on how that money is used. There's no accountability.
Are we taking Matt Walsh at face value now? I I don't think Matt Walsh actually believes that. Okay.
Ability for that money, and he feels that the money is better used for the American people. And so this is one of the rare instances where actually it's better used say on how that money is used, taxation without representation.
I heard that correctly, right?
Walsh of all people had a viral post on X where he said that because he feels that the money is better used for the American people. And so this is one of the rare instances where I actually see some agreement with the right and the left. I mean, there's literally nothing else that I agree with Matt Walsh on, but I do agree with his point on that. So I'm curious to see if maybe.
I mean, at least she clarifies that this is the only thing really she agrees on with Matt Walsh, but like, I'm just like, why would you use that as an example? I don't think Matt Walsh is an exemplar of like conservative policy, for example. I also don't think that that's even something he cares about at all. You might say, well, he's saying it because he thinks his audience will care about it, but like, I don't know. I think it's weird to equate aid to Ukraine and aid to Israel. I find that very weird. Because the aid to Ukraine is going to prevent an imperialist invasion. I think that's a good thing. You know? Aid to Israel is going to a genocide. I think that's a very bad thing. I think these two things are very different and shouldn't be equated.
It would draw some attention from, I wouldn't say moderate Republicans. Moderate Republicans tend to be more.
Yeah, she also agrees with him on the birthing persons thing. Yeah.
Neocon, type of Republicans. But there is a growing population of Americans who are looking at their situation on the ground here and really questioning whether it makes sense to send these resources abroad.
100%. So we're going to put the ad up on cenkforamerica.com, but we're also going to put it up on all of my personal social media, which we can share with you guys. We're also going to talk about it and how to share it on the.
Oh no, Gamer G. Trump didn't just say he wanted Russia to invade NATO countries. He said he would actively encourage Russia to invade NATO countries. Like he would call up Putin and be like, okay, these countries are vulnerable to invasion right now. We're not stepping in to actually help them. Yeah.
Town hall. And we have town halls every Wednesday. What that does is it gives people regular updates that nobody else gets about the campaign. And then we strategize together and I take ideas from them. And then we implement those ideas. So we want you to share this video everywhere. But the reason I bring that up, Anna, is because, yeah, you're right. And so that's how you can get to the town hall. And it's right.
Is it possible Matt Walsh wants those two wars equated? Yeah, I mean, to him, like it's equal. Like, Matt Walsh is like a extreme isolationist, is my understanding of his like foreign policy views. Very much in line with the other conservative politicians and like talking heads who've talked about completely shutting down the borders,
After the Young Turks anniversary special today. So I put the universal health care line in that ad. You're going to be shocked to find out I wrote that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Dublin. That's what I find interesting. Why use Matt Walsh as a vehicle for that point? You can use a vehicle that isn't Matt Walsh. That's what I find interesting. But I'm also willing to give her the benefit of the doubt that like maybe this was just on her mind and it was standing out. But I still disagree with the equating of the two conflicts and the funding of them.
Other people helped, of course, but and because.
Can I just really? I want to play that section again because it is.
I put the universal health care line in that ad. You're going to be shocked to find out I wrote that. Other people helped, of course, but.
Absolutely shocked, my guy. Just I feel. Do any of you remember there was a pilot television show that TYT attempted to get off the ground with Cenk in it, where he was in the White House? Do any of you remember this? I don't remember what it was called. I think it only had like 5 episodes or something. Do any of you remember this? Is this like a fever dream? Am I falling victim to the gas leak? But my understanding was that Cenk wrote for that show. Was this a bad dream? Do I smell toast? I want this to be real. No. I remember it. It was like 5, 6 years ago, maybe. It was before I started streaming. Was it like the Oval Office? Show. Yes, I found it. I found it, chat. Think this was it? No. Maybe? Oh my god. I think this is it.
Welcome to the Oval Office. Well, welcome to the Oval Office at the Museum of Presidential History.
Are we going to be all set for our grand opening, Carrie?
Absolutely, sir.
Invested a lot of money in this museum.
Actually, we're a little short on
You're
funds.
first
So-
in your class at Georgetown. You'll make it work. Sorry. Hope that wasn't expensive.
It's your money.
What was that?
We can get that fixed. Blake, can you take
Oh
care
my.
of that?
Oh, okay. So
I
it's a.
didn't leave my job
It's
as a second
filmed
assistant
in
curator at the
360,
Rutherford
so you
Hayes
can like
Presidential Center to be a day
span
laborer,
around.
So
Chris, can you come in here, please?
Yes, Carrie.
Can you handle that?
I serve at the pleasure of the curator.
Blake, let me show you the seal.
I've seen this seal.
He wasn't supposed to be in town for me.
He's the money. He can be here whenever he wants.
Here's your coffee.
Oh, and who are you again?
I serve at the pleasure of the second head curator. I'm an intern.
Oh.
And not just because we're doing the Clinton White House.
Blake just means that she's here to do an actual job.
So did Monica.
Weren't Clinton's couches red?
Very astute of you, sir.
And they had
So this is a scripted series about people trying to make a mobile Oval Office. And this is from 2016. So this is real. This is real.
white stripes. Sir, I can assure you that I had absolutely nothing to do with the couches. That was...
And why is there no ceiling?
Because I busted through it.
No, seriously, why is there no roof?
Because her joke bombed so hard that it exploded.
Remember, you told me to look for a way to cut some corners.
And was it worth it?
Jury's out.
And, says Leonardo Watanabe, I didn't build a mobile oval not to go exploring Battle Axe, Michigan.
Oh, Kelsey. Whose side are you on?
The museums.
Well, we're supposed to be working together.
Well, technically, my job is to work under you.
Oh, well, check your ego and your privilege, bro, and get on board.
My ego and my privilege?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, technically, there's never been a more ego-filled or privileged white guy than Bill Clinton, who was impeached for stains that were found.
Yeah, 360 is the future of video. What are these jokes? I'm just confused. I don't know for sure if Cenk Uygur wrote for this show, but the writing on this very much reminds me, like, watching that ad unlocked the memory of this show from 8 years ago. And I think, I don't know, but I think that this is written by Cenk Uygur.
Every
Right over
president
here.
gets impeached. It comes with the territory, like going to Cabo and getting HPV.
Actually, it's only happened one and a half. You know what? It doesn't even matter because everyone knows that the Clinton White House couches were red and
I
white
was
striped.
underfunded.
Then raise taxes. Isn't that what you people do? This is.
It's a good one. At 3, I'm murdering a baby, and then at 5, I'm taking people's guns away. But yeah, let's see if Chris can squeeze in some tax raising.
Look, the place just looks shoddy. This drives me
I
crazy.
had to cut some corners.
At what expense?
You.
What?
I wanted to build a team of rivals, so I diverted some funds into hiring you.
Oh.
Now, are you gonna apologize about the couch comment?
I love, by the way, that, like, this show was done in 360 with a 360 camera, despite the fact that, like, clearly the show is written for just one camera. Like, why would you bother looking at the rest of the room and, like, these people just walking around and doing stuff when, like, this is clearly what's important?
Comments, or?
I can't. I stand by him.
No one will notice.
Yes, they will.
Prove it.
Excuse me, guys. I must be lost. I was looking for the Clinton Museum.
Oh, this.
Speak of the fucking devil. My God.
This is it. The exhibit's not open yet.
Weren't his couches red?
He. Yeah, there are 8 episodes of this. Chat. If we get like, I don't know, 20 more subs, we will watch the rest. All right? If we get 20 more subs or their dono equivalents, we will watch the entire goddamn playlist. I aged a whole year from that. Believe it or not, that was only 3 minutes long. There are 8 episodes. It would only be 24 minutes of your life. I feel like we've discovered the machine that, like, siphons years of your life away from The Princess Bride, and it's just this particular web series. Let's see here. Out of curiosity. Yeah, Cenk Uygur was an executive producer on the show. Okay, the show was not written by him. He's not credited as the writer. The writer is someone named Bernie Sue. And Bernie Sue.
Please, I'm lusting for brain damage, specifically of the Cenk Uygur bad comedy variety.
Man, text-to-speech is really bad at reading Cenk Uygur's name. Thank you for the $5 dono. We now only need 19 subs or their equivalent. Let's see, Bernie Sue. also worked on the Lizzie Bennett Diaries and a show called Artificial. Huh. I'm just like going through like what did these other people work on, you know? There's the Mobile Oval from 2016. And then went on to executive produce a few other things. Good for him. But anyway, core memory unlocked of experiencing that.
But and because I
Cenk Uygur in Bad Seinfeld. Yeah, he worked on Frankenstein MD.
saw how much the audience reacted to it, and I saw how much independence and the right wing.
Fuck that other shit, Frankenstein MD. What? I don't know what that is. With the help of her assistant Iggy, Victoria Frankenstein experiments with the line between life and death, but when she succeeds, she finds her life's work has produced something darker than she'd imagined. Pum, pum, pum. Oh my god, did this get 2 seasons or just one 24-episode season? That's crazy. What was this show called again? Yeah, it was the Mobile Oval. It's still on the TYT's channel, by the way.
Also reacted to it, because it was one thing when I said it costs you $85 to kill Palestinians, right, per year. It's another thing when I say, hey guys, they have universal health care and we don't, and we're still sending them $14 billion, et cetera. That got people really mad. Like, wait, why are you taking my money and I don't have health care? And by the way, also true of paid family leave, also true.
Yeah, anyway, this guy's running for president.
Of many different things, that Israel has a really good social safety net and really good social programs for their own citizens, right? Obviously not for the Palestinians in the occupied territory, but we are funding all of that when we can't afford, they say we can't afford it. So yeah, that unifies a lot of people. And by the way, then the establishment freaks out and goes, how dare you guys, this is horseshoe theory and this is the right-wing radicals and the left-wing radicals getting together. I actually, of course you know me, I don't think so. I think there are right-wing and left-wing radicals. But this is the base of the left wing and right wing getting together and going, yeah, I don't get any donor money from AIPAC. I don't get any donor money from Lockheed Martin or Boeing. And so I don't want taxation without representation. I don't want to send money just for the express purpose of killing more innocent civilians. That makes no sense to me. And Anna, the other thing about that is that there's no candidates left that are for that position in the Democratic or Republican Party. Marianne Williamson dropped out. So everyone else in the race in the 2 major parties are for nonstop killings. We might have millions of people watching this show, but you can be the difference maker.
On, because I really want you to get into the conversation about the delegates. Why is the delegate fight so relevant to you, right? Like you referenced it a little bit, but there's the court case involving Donald Trump getting booted off of ballots because of the 14th Amendment. He's challenging that, of course. You say that's relevant to your race. So let's talk a little bit more about that. I'm very curious what you think is going to arise from this.
Yeah, Marianne dropped out a couple weeks ago.
So there's 2 different topics. Let's take the delegates first because it's so interesting. So Politico ran a story that we ran on the Young Turks and explained a couple of days ago, where they explained that Biden might step down after the voting is over. So he secures all delegates. And the minute I read that, I was like, oh, that makes sense. I get it, that's their plan. Because that takes the voters out of the equation. The voters are messy. So they, Democratic voters, who knows if Biden steps down before the voting begins, maybe they vote for a progressive, maybe they vote for someone that the establishment doesn't want. If Biden steps down before the convention and after the voting's over on June 4th, he can then say, I am now releasing these delegates. Now he can give them to some.
I don't think that's what is going to happen, Cenk. Like he's old and like his hubris is unbounded. Like he's an old white guy in America. Like he's going to hold on to power until he fucking dies.
Someone, but then he's going to have a lot of pressure to give them to Kamala Harris. And we all know he doesn't want to give them to Kamala Harris.
He's 1 billion years old. Who cares about pressure? Like, how is this man not in the F you all phase of his life yet.
No,
I mean,
know.
he kind of is.
No,
He kind of
isn't.
is.
Wait, so is he saying that, like, oh, he wouldn't give, like, what the logical step in the situation he's proposing would be to give the delegates to Kamala Harris, not just give them to a random person.
No, he's
effing us. But...
No, like all politicians, absolutely, positively obsessed with his ego. So he's like, my legacy, how's my legacy going to look? Oh, my legacy. That's why he ran for a second term. Because people at home, they don't know that in Washington, 2-term president means you're historic, 1-term president means you're a loser. So Biden was like, me. We've talked about that. But now here comes the interesting part. If he does that, he can't hand him over to Kamala, so he's probably not going to hand him over to one person. Then that means you got a delegate fight.
Okay.
So then, all the cast of characters, including the guy you loathe, Newsom, and
No, Jack, you're not smooth-brained enough. Cenk thinks he will get the delegates. I don't think that is the case. That there's no way he could be deluded enough to think that. There's no way he would be deluded enough to think that Joe Biden's delegates would go to him. Also, Hell's Cineplex is just a bunch of Cenk's comedy spec scripts acted out by the cast of Real Rob, with Rob Schneider as Cenk. Yeah. Oh my God.
and then Pritzker and Whitmer and all those other folks will come in and go, give me the delegates. Now, they're very establishment delegates, the Biden delegates are, handpicked by the Biden team. So they're, of course, going to go for an establishment person. But what if Pritzker and Newsom or Whitmer and Newsom or whoever it is are in a situation where they need an extra 20 delegates to go over the top, an extra 200 delegates, whatever the number is, and I have those delegates. Because guys,
how are you polling in the states where they're allowing you on the primary ballot?
There's no polls. That's why we have no idea.
Okay.
Wow, that's really convenient that you have no idea how well or poorly you're doing. So we're just running the entire campaign based on vibes? That sounds like a recipe for disaster. That's like, we won't hit that reef around the island we're sailing to. How do I know? I just feel it in my bones.
Okay, so don't get me wrong, of course it's hard. That's part of the reason why the ad has to go viral. That's why we ask you to share, #ceasefire_ad, right? And I want people to understand this, so if you can, #peace delegates, #progressive delegates when we're talking about the delegates. Because, Anna, it's not just about peace. So let's say that you've got that situation, Governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, Governor of Michigan, Whitmer, both are deadlocked around 2,000 delegates, right? Based on the politicking that they did. They come to
who's giving this guy money to do this, man? I'm genuinely curious. Also, my dude, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. We're covering TYT's new ad. This is yeah, honestly, this does read as an insane level of cope from a guy whose like ego won't allow him to admit that he's not doing well, you know?
us for the extra 100 delegates that's going to put them over the top. Then I go, well, I'm not doing it unless you, A, say you're withdrawing the money from Israel, unless they end the bombing. I'm not interested in BS. I'm not interested in later. I'm not interested in anything but actual results, okay?
I mean, surely, Gamer G, there's a way to find that out, right? Like, we should be able to know like what he's spending his campaign funds on, right?
Whoever ends the bombing gets 100 delegates. So that's one way to
Wait, we're up to 100 delegates now?
No, if, right. Okay, I'm saying, right. But 22, whatever the number is that can affect things.
Okay.
So how we win those, we'll get to in a sec. So the other thing you could do is go, hey, you know what? Give me a progressive economic policy position. I want paid family leave. See, and AOC did it again today. Progressives in Congress, including Bernie, who we love, but They constantly give away their power. They constantly give away their leverage.
Thanks,
If I have
Gamer
delegates, then there's nothing in the world stopping me from getting delegates. Whether I'm eligible to serve, eligible to run, are all irrelevant for getting delegates because I'm on the ballot in 7 states. You go vote for me. And in Michigan, write-in. So now with a write-in, it's super hard, but in Michigan, maybe it's possible, right? In Vermont, what do you need to get delegates? 15%. So is it easy getting 15% even in Vermont? No, it's not. You guys should know that, right? But if this ad comes viral, we break through, people begin to understand, hey, we vote in this direction, and this guy is gonna fight like hell for peace. And he might actually be able to deliver it if he gets enough delegates.
The argument here that he's making, I think, falls apart if like the DNC or the Democratic establishment is just like, we're calling your bluff. You're going to give us your delegates because you're not going to throw this election to Trump. Like, what does he do? What does he do if they play hardball? Does he throw it to Trump? I have no idea. I don't know this plan seems incredibly flawed in a number of ways. I know he's being dead serious. But like, even if we got that far, like, I feel like he doesn't actually have a plan for this. Can the DNC do that? What mechanism would they use? I mean, the DNC, they're being like a stand-in for like the Democratic establishment. In his scenario, there's like going to be like this, there's going to be like this huge brouhaha when it comes to the Electoral College, and they're going to rely on his delegates to be able to endorse Biden and vote for Biden. I believe is the argument he's making here, which is insane.
Start collecting delegates, and then we have some.
Wait, does the Democratic establishment know how to play hardball? Absolutely. With members within their own party, absolutely. With Republicans, not so much.
Degree of power, and I'm never going to give away that without getting something significant in return for progressives.
Okay, so finally, talk to me about why Trump's court battle in regard to his ballot situation is relevant to you.
Yeah, so one of the things that they debated, and there's an article in The Hill today about it, is, all right, how are we going to resolve this? There's a couple of different ways. One is say, oh, he's not an officer, so technically it doesn't count, et cetera, right? But one of the critical ones, most important ones is, hey, are the states allowed to decide constitutional issues or not? And the article in The Hill today said they think, and that's just their opinion, the person who wrote that article, that the court is likely to decide based on that issue, so that it doesn't go to whether it was or was not an insurrection. That they might want to avoid the topic of whether it's an insurrection. Okay. And the way to avoid that is to say, that's it, you can't make any constitutional determinations if you're at the state level. That doesn't mean that I can serve, but that would mean fairly definitively that I can run.
That you can run, and then when it's called into question your eligibility to run, that'll be adjudicated in the courts.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and think about this scenario.
Man, this is such there's so many red flags about this. Like it's insane. It's insane to me how anyone can watch this segment and be like, ah, yes, Cenk Uygur is grounded in reason, and really knows what he's doing here. Like you all understand this is like delusional nonsense, right? He's talking about the primary. There's no way Joe Biden is going to need those delegates to win the primary. He has no competition. He has no meaningful competition in the primary whatsoever. Like, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't sure if he was talking about in like the general or in the primary, but like, either way, it's delusional.
Now, I know these are all probabilities and a lot of them are low probabilities, but let's say that we do great in Vermont and we get a bunch of delegates. Well, that made news, okay? And by the way, Minnesota is on Super Tuesday. Minnesota is another very progressive state. And also Oklahoma and Texas, they're very conservative, but who knows how their Democratic voters are? The Democratic voters in Oklahoma might be
Yeah, since his launch, he's raised more than $250,000. That's as of a couple months ago, several months ago now. What about FEC filing? Yeah, $340,000 on hand. Interesting. What on earth did they spend $260,000 on? Consulting, legal fees, that makes sense. Ballot access marketing, strategic consulting, online fundraising. I'm not going to go through all of this, but like, my God. Cenk is paying himself? Wait. Where? What? He got reimbursed $43,000? For what? What? Huh. I mean, I don't know if this screams red flag or not, honestly. I'm not good when it comes to accounting stuff, but like... Are these average prices for that? No, this is how much they said they spent on that. Well, it makes sense to have a lot of legal fees because you're paying for attorneys that are, you know, in different states to try and get ballot access. Also makes sense that there would be ballot access fees. There would make sense that there would be general legal consultancy on like his campaign. These things are normal and I think fine, right? But like a $43,000 reimbursement does seem like a lot. I just don't know what it was for, and it doesn't really say. Yeah, like a reimbursement is money you spent out of pocket and then get paid back, but like what was it for is not said.
mainly minorities who are very progressive.
Which like is not uncommon for like documents like this. I'm just kind of curious in general. Not to start speculation, but that is about the price of a decent new car. I mean, maybe. But again, I think we lack too much information to come to any like definitive conclusion based on any of that.
Etc. Right? So if we get those delegates on Super Tuesday and people begin to realize, oh, if I give this brother delegates, he's going to use them for something I really, really agree with, whether he wins or doesn't win. And you layer that on top of that, the Trump case goes our way. Wait a minute, then we go to all the others.
The $43,000 was for web design.
states and go, you got to put me on the ballot. And now we've got 30 more states where I'm on the ballot where I can get even more delegates. So look, when I started this, Anna, as you know, I was under no delusion that this is like, oh, it's going to be nip and tuck between me and Biden. It was a very long shot, very low probability. But what we're trying to do is create any way, get caught trying, any way to find power and leverage for progressives and for peace, and to use it and to find opportunities. And that's exactly what we're in the middle of doing.
See, but the thing that gets me is here, right? Like, you had $340,000 and you were able to like get $250,000 more in like donations, right? If I'm understanding the numbers we've looked at here. So you had like over $500,000 to spend. And like, instead of spending that on like small local races across the country where you could get like progressives elected at local and state levels, instead of spending that money in that way, a way that like would most effectively use your money, you chose to spend it on a campaign to try and like gain like one political favor in the presidential election, the most expensive possible thing you could spend it on. $500,000, like guys, sometimes it's like a couple $1,000s can like turn the tide of like a local level race or even a state level race. You know, like if his goal was to get leverage, there are way more effective ways to do it than to run a presidential campaign against an incumbent president. But like, okay, even if you took out like the $250,000, $340,000 would go a very long way, you know? I don't think that this is about him gaining leverage. I don't think that. I don't believe that. I mean, even if you wanted to spread it out, Gamergy, $300,000 could change like what, a couple, 100 local elections, you know? You could pick a state and like change the political landscape of that state if you wanted to do that with that money. You know? Why didn't they put Anna up instead of Cenk? Well, probably because Anna's smart enough to not want to have anything to do with this.
Finding these opportunities and taking advantage. So anyone who's involved, we love it. One of the things that we ask for now, info@cenkforamerica.com, and share in all the ways that you can through my social medias, is send us memes. I suck at memes, to be honest with you, okay? Like graphics, video. I
mean, like when it comes to like local races though, I feel like you could focus on like 100 local races with that kind of money, you know? Like not state level races, but like local races, absolutely.
Pictures, whatever you got, anything that'll help us go viral with these ideas, with the ad, etc. You're seeing all that there. And by the way, anybody gives over $100 to the campaign, I call them. They're usually shocked when I call them, but I call them in person. And we now are calling people, a certain number of random people who give under 100 to also at cenkforamerica.com. I bought a whole bunch of Trump URLs to
oh no, all right.
donordon.com, trumpczar.com. I got a lot more where that came from. We'll save that for another day. But
why would you do that? I mean, I guess it's kind of fun, but like, my God.
Here I am getting caught in the middle of trying.
Guys, when I say local level races, I'm not talking about like for state senate. I'm talking about like local races.
All right, cool. All right, everyone. So check out Cenk's social media and also.
All right, cool.
So the town hall tonight, after the show, after our special, at 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific. Go to which website do you want to? JenkForAmerica.com. Is that the best?
Yeah, so the ad will be there. That's the best place. By the way, when you're wondering, hey, where are the town halls? You go to events and you'll see, if you want to see my interviews, including this one, you go to press, you'll see that. You'll see what our pledge to the.
But like city council, like different positions in like a city government, etc. Yeah, like especially like larger cities, for example. You know, when we see like political power get used for progressive causes in places like Houston, we see that they're able to implement things like citywide UBI. You know, like these are positions that can affect millions of people's lives. City council can be won with a few $1,000s. Yeah, and the city council wields an immense amount of power. I don't know. I feel like a focus on local level politics is the foundation of what becomes state level politics, and the foundation of what then becomes national level politics, you know? Obviously, it depends on the city. Like the cost of doing that in New York is going to be like crazy compared to like the cost of doing it in, you know, like I don't know, Albuquerque.
What the progressive delegate pledge will be, what they're going to fight for on our behalf if we get those delegates. And honestly, it's now is more exciting than it's ever been, Anna, because the idea of winning is always a super long shot, but the idea of winning delegates is a lot more doable. And now, before the delegates, what's the point if you're going to lose? But now there might be a delegate fight, and those delegates might be super valuable. And to be able to use them for the purposes that our audience cares about, that progressives care about, decent people in America care about, it would be an amazing opportunity.
All right, thank you so much, Cenk.
All right, thank you, Anna.
Thanks for watching. If you become a member.
Yeah, Anna was trying to engage with this as little as humanly possible, because it is deeply embarrassing. For sure. Again, yeah, money alone is not enough to make a difference. You need volunteers, you need people on the ground. But all I'm saying is, like, can you guys at least like give me and like recognize that like a couple $1,000s for certain campaigns on like the local or even the state level can mean the difference between them being able to make like an actual shot at winning versus like none at all. Can you guys give that to me? You guys, does that sound crazy to you guys? Because like I'm familiar with like political campaigns that have had to like, you know, that don't have like printer paper. They don't have money to like print anything, you know. And I just feel like I'm on crazy pills. In my city, in my old small town, oh hell yeah, that could change the whole town. Yeah, that exactly. This is what I'm talking about.